At a time when the electric vehicle world feels loud, predictable, and crowded, something unexpected happened in Germany. At a major motor show, a Chinese electric car appeared without drama, without aggressive marketing, and without claiming it would change everything. Yet within days, conversations about this car reached the headquarters of BYD, Tesla, and several other global EV giants. The reason was simple. This car didn't follow the usual EV formula. It quietly broke it. The car is the Leapmotor Lafa 5, and at first glance, it looks like a small, sensible electric vehicle meant for city use. But that first impression doesn't last long, because once the details started coming out, industry experts realized this wasn't just another affordable EV trying to survive on compromises. It was offering long range, extremely fast charging, a robust battery, and premium-level technology at a price point that usually comes with excuses. And that's where the real disruption begins. To understand why this launch mattered so much, you first need to understand the company behind it. Leapmotor is not an old brand with decades of legacy, but its growth has been fast enough to make established players uncomfortable. In just 1 year, the company sold close to 300,000 electric vehicles, primarily in China. That number alone forced people to stop calling Leapmotor a startup. From the beginning, the company followed a simple but dangerous idea. Electric cars shouldn't be toys for the wealthy. They should be usable, reliable, and affordable for everyday people. That belief shaped everything Leapmotor built. Instead of focusing on luxury branding or extreme performance, the company focused on value, good range, solid batteries, real-world usability. And now, that philosophy is moving beyond China. Leapmotor didn't try to enter Europe slowly or cautiously. Instead, it made a bold move that caught the entire EV industry off guard. It partnered with Stellantis. This partnership instantly changed the game. Stellantis brings with it hundreds of dealerships, service centers, and a trusted supply chain across Europe. For a new Chinese brand, this solved the two biggest problems overnight: trust and access. European customers who might hesitate to buy from an unfamiliar company suddenly saw familiar service networks backing the product. That single move accelerated Leapmotor's global ambitions by years. Bookings opened in multiple European countries, and the company publicly committed to launching a new model every year. This wasn't a trial run, it was a declaration. Now let's talk about the car itself. The Lafa 5 may be positioned as a compact electric vehicle, but its design makes it clear that this isn't a cheap experiment. The exterior is clean, modern, and aerodynamically efficient. There are no unnecessary creases or exaggerated futuristic elements. The smooth front end reduces air resistance, directly helping efficiency and range. From the side, the proportions feel balanced and confident. It's compact enough for city driving, yet solid enough to feel safe and stable. And the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes that this isn't just a product win, it's a mindset win. For years, buyers were told they had to choose between affordability and quality, between safety and savings, between today's needs and tomorrow's technology. This car quietly proved that those trade-offs were never as absolute as the industry made them seem. They were assumptions. And assumptions break the moment someone challenges them with a working alternative. That's why competitors are paying attention, even if they don't say it out loud. Internally, comparisons are being made. Cost sheets are being reworked. Product teams are being asked uncomfortable questions. Could we have done this? Why didn't we? What did we miss? And the answer, more often than not, comes back to the same point. They were designing for an ideal customer, not a real one. Real customers don't live in concept videos. They live with traffic, fuel prices, school schedules, medical visits, and monthly budgets. They don't want to be early adopters of technology that might cost them later. They want stability, predictability, control. When a car offers that without asking them to stretch financially, it becomes more than a purchase. It becomes a safe decision. This is also why the effect of this launch won't fade quickly. Even if sales eventually stabilize, the reference point remains. Every future budget car will be compared against it, directly or indirectly. Every price hike will feel heavier. Every missing feature will feel more noticeable. That invisible benchmark is hard to erase once it's set. And while premium brands will continue pushing innovation screens, software autonomy, There will always be a massive segment of buyers who simply ask, "Does this make my life easier?" If the answer is no, they walk away. If the answer is yes, they don't need convincing. In that sense, the real disruption isn't technological at all. It's psychological. It shifts power back to the buyer. It reminds people that waiting is an option, that not upgrading is sometimes the smartest move. That value isn't defined by how new something is, but by how well it fits. So when people look back at this moment, years from now, they may not remember the exact price or the exact features, but they'll remember the pause it created, the hesitation it introduced into a market rushing forward too fast. The reminder that progress works best when it carries people with it, not drags them along. And that's how a car that arrived quietly ended up speaking louder than anyone expected, not by promising the future, but by understanding the present better than everyone else. And maybe that's the most uncomfortable part for the industry, because this wasn't a technological breakthrough. There was no new battery chemistry, no revolutionary drivetrain, no software update that changed everything overnight. What changed was the question being asked. Instead of what's next, the question became what actually works. And once that question takes hold, it's very hard to push it aside. For buyers, this creates a sense of empowerment. They no longer feel like they're missing out by not buying the latest thing. They feel smart for choosing something stable. That emotional shift is subtle but powerful. It reduces urgency. It slows impulsive upgrades. And when millions of people slow down at the same time, the market feels it. This also explains why attempts to dismiss this car as only for budget buyers don't really stick, because the mindset it represents isn't limited to income. Even buyers who can afford more begin questioning whether spending more actually gives them more value. And once that doubt enters the equation, price alone no longer justifies itself. What's happening now is a quiet rebalancing. EVs will continue. Premium cars will continue. Innovation won't stop. But the idea that everyone must move in the same direction at the same speed is losing credibility. The market is fragmenting in a more honest way, where different solutions coexist based on real needs, not trends. And in that fragmented future, cars like this serve an important role. They anchor expectations. They keep ambition grounded. They remind manufacturers that the majority of buyers aren't chasing headlines. They're chasing reliability. They want products that respect their limits, not test them. So while analysts argue timelines and forecasts, the real verdict is already being delivered quietly every morning. When people start their cars and go about their lives without stress, no charging anxiety, no budget shock, no second thoughts, just movement, just function, just confidence. That's not flashy. It doesn't make for dramatic unveiling, but it builds something far more durable: trust. And once trust becomes the foundation, everything else has to adjust around it. Even small details matter here. Panel alignment is tight. The body feels well put together. When you close the door, the sound is solid, not hollow. These are small cues, but they send a strong message. This car was built seriously. It doesn't feel disposable, which is often the biggest fear with budget EVs. Step inside, and the surprise grows. Most affordable electric cars cut corners in the cabin. Cheap plastics, small screens, cramped space. The Lafa 5 does the opposite. The dashboard is wide and clean, making the interior feel open. Two large digital displays dominate the front, delivering clear information without clutter. The layout is intuitive enough that even a first-time EV user won't feel overwhelmed. Material quality is another area where expectations are quietly broken. While this is still a budget-focused car, it doesn't feel cheap. The plastics are well finished, the stitching is neat, and the seats are designed for comfort rather than cost-cutting. Both front and rear passengers get respectable headroom and legroom. For small families, this makes the car genuinely practical, not just acceptable. But design and comfort are only part of the story. The real strength of the Lafa 5 lies under the skin. Battery technology is where this car separates itself from nearly every competitor in its class. Leapmotor uses LFP batteries, a chemistry known for safety, durability, and thermal stability. But these are not basic old-generation LFP cells. Reports suggest the company has used higher-density LFP, technology that allows more energy storage without compromising safety. The advantages here are significant. LFP batteries have a much lower risk of overheating and fire. They handle high temperatures better and degrade more slowly over time. This directly addresses one of the biggest fears among first-time EV buyers: battery lifespan. Leapmotor designed the LAFA 5's battery to age gradually and consistently.